Good. You're not there?
Jim Phelps is present.
Good. Okay, well, let's call this meeting to order. This will be the first meeting of the Planning and Zoning Committee for this year. And before we get started, I'd like to turn it over to the mayor.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for being here so early on the day after Memorial Day. I hope you had a great weekend. This, as Councilor Allred said, is the first meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I thank you all for agreeing to serve, including Jim Phelps, who is on Zoom. One of the requirements in the city charter is that we have an oath of office sworn in, that you all sworn in at your first meeting. And since this is your first meeting, I have handed out a notice to all of you, a piece of paper with the oath of office, and I thank City Attorney Doug Kidd for helping me with that. So if you would read out loud together, whether you swear or affirm, and read it out together, and we will have you sign it at the end and return it to the city clerk. So with me, I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties
of the city of Sky Valley, Georgia. I will not knowingly permit my vote to be influenced with affection or reward, and in all things pertaining to office. I will be governed by the good, and the interests of the city. I will observe the provisions of the charter, ordinances, and regulations of the city of Sky Valley, and I will support and defend the constitutions of the state of Georgia and the United States of America. I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which I am prohibited from holding by the laws of the state of Georgia. I am not the holder of any unaccountable public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof. I am otherwise qualified to hold this office by the Constitution and laws of this state and the charter and ordinances of the city of Sky Valley. So help me God. Thank you. A separate item is that you all were approved by the city council, and I propose that Councilor Tony Allred be chairman of this commission, and I would ask if you all by a motion would affirm him in that position. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go for it. I move that we affirm that position.
Second.
Any discussion? Humans can vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, I'm in.
Thank you.
The Jim object.
Jim.
I know, I said aye, Tony.
Okay, we have one item before us today, and that is an application for a variance of our zoning ordinance. The application is from Rich and Karen Justin. Is that right? Are they here? You're here?
Aye.
Karen, it's good to have you here. We have, in the past few days, I have asked, I hope that all you guys have seen this and have maybe driven by the city property. We have, the approval of the motion has been recommended by both the city manager and our ordinance inspector. And so I would throw the floor open to discussion.
Just a point of reference, for those of you wondering why I didn't take the oath. I am not a voting member. I'm here as an advisory member since I'm on staff. But having said that, I will go into, we use, internally here, we use 5 criteria when we're going over a variance, and I'll just go over those real quickly, but as the chair just said, the applicant is requesting a front yard setback variance from 15 feet to 0 feet to construct a detached carport. History and existing land uses. The subject property is approximately 0.95 acres, so just about an acre, and has an existing single-family home. Per the applicant, they wish to install a detached carport adjacent to the existing home. Adjacent properties to the north, south, east, and west consist of established single-family residential uses. And just I may point out, on that street, Peak and Peak, there are only 5 houses, including this one. And 2 of them are in North Carolina. Development support and constraints. The existing home was built more than 40+ years ago and is located at 0 feet from the front yard property line. Development constraints that support this request include the fact that there is an existing stream at the rear of the property, which the proposed carport must also keep an appropriate distance from. The home recently went through a complete renovation. The subject property, as I mentioned, is located on Peak and Peak Drive, a city-maintained road. Public water is available and in use, and the home is served by an on-site septic system. Environmental factors. As stated above, there's an existing stream located at the rear of the property. And when I say stream, it's a very, very small stream, but the fact that it does have some running water, we need to be cognizant of. That a proposed structure must satisfy minimum distance requirements. Factors and analysis. Factor 1, are there any extraordinary or exceptional conditions pertaining to the particular lot in question because of the size, shape, or topography? The hardship must be related to the physical characteristics of the lot and not to a personal or economic hardship. All right, that was the factor. The analysis. Due to the location of the existing home and stream, there's limited space to place the proposed detached carport within current zoning regulation setback requirements. Does this support the variance request based on these factors? Yes. Number 2, would the application of the requirements of the ordinance to this particular piece of property create an unusual hardship? Analysis. Without the setback variance, the applicant would not be able to construct the proposed attached carport. So does this support the request? Again, yes. Number 3, are there any conditions peculiar to the particular piece of property involved and not common to other properties within the immediate vicinity of the request? The analysis. The subject property is similar in size and shape to the other properties located within the immediate vicinity of the request. Does this support the request? No. Are the conditions the result of any actions of the applicant or the property owner? Analysis. The applicant purchased the existing home as is. Supporting the request? Yes, based on this fact. And lastly, relief if granted would not cause substantial detriment to the public good or impair the purposes and intent of this ordinance provided. However, that no variance may be granted for a use of land or building or structure that is prohibited by this ordinance, and for a conditional use which has been denied by the Sky Valley Code Enforcement Building Inspector. The analysis. The variance request, if approved, would provide the minimum relief necessary to construct the proposed detached carport. There has been no attempt to use the property in a manner that is inconsistent with the Sky Valley zoning regulations, nor in a manner that has or would be denied by the Sky Valley Code Enforcement if the variance were not granted. And so again, this supports the factor based on this analysis. And as the chair said, I'm sure everyone had a chance, hopefully, to look at all the paperwork. I did make a better copy that some of you may not have seen of this is basically an identical structure of what they're proposing, and I'll be happy to hand this out to anybody else that might want one. This would be, like we stated, right beside the existing home, the same setback, which is 0. And in my opinion, as code enforcement officer, and the experience I have with other variance requests here in Sky Valley, this would fit within all the requirements that are stipulated in the ordinance. And aesthetically, they will be using the same siding on the house, the same as on the house, the same roofing materials, the same color. So, I mean, it's going to blend right in. You'd never even know it wasn't there to begin with. Any questions?
Very good. Thank you, Jim. Any other committee members have a comment?
Mr. Chairman, this is Jim Phelps. I agree with everything Jim just said. I just want to emphasize one thing that I found in the ordinance that I really didn't realize was on page 36. And it says, it's talking about a front yard setback requirement and in what circumstances it could be waived or varied. And it says, and it doesn't necessarily apply to this case, but I'm just throwing it out there so everybody will be aware of it. The front yard setback requirement shall not apply to any lot where the average setback of existing structure is located wholly or partially within 100 feet on either side of the proposed structure and on the same side of the same block and use, and fronting on the same street as such lot is less than the minimum required front yard depth. In such a case, the setback on such lots may be less than the required setback, but not less than the average of the existing setbacks on the aforementioned lots, or a distance of 10 feet from the street right of way, whichever is greater. And I know that's hard to follow because it's a run-on sentence. But what it's saying is if there are already existing, pre-existing non-conforming setbacks along the same side of the street, then you can take the average of those and, you wouldn't even count it as a variance unless it exceeds 10 feet. The existing house, as y'all pointed out, already violates the setback, so that's a done deal. The house next door, I suspect, without knowing, probably, I've looked at it and there's no substantial difference. It possibly violates the setback. Just don't know that. I know it's stating as a matter of record. I obviously don't have a survey, but the applicants own the adjoining lot next to them. They own that whole acre back there. So there's no house next on the east side to be affected. And there's a pond, as Jim Pyburn just said, in the rear that is going to limit how far back they can go. So I think it's important. I think it's important that if we recommend this, that we make sure we include as a part of the record the reasons we're doing it. Because as I think I've said before, if you read the ordinance, the variance or criteria, it's just about impossible for anybody really to meet all the requirements. But I think that these factors, in my mind, are sufficient to overcome any objection to it. That's all I've got to say.
Very good, Jim. Thank you very much. Well reasoned. Are there any neighbors here who have comments? Hearing none, and there being no further question, go ahead.
I did speak with the neighbor to the left. Is that east or west? Anyway, the neighbor to the left of the Justins, and at first he wanted to know what the zoning variance was for, because some of his neighbors had contacted some of his friends, not necessarily neighbors on that street, contacted him and reached out. And I explained to him what was going on. He said he has no problem with it because his house is well more than 100 feet from their house. And I think I mentioned there's only 5 houses on that street.
Correct.
And they're all pretty much the same distance back from the road. And as Mr. Phelps just mentioned, they're already in violation, but they were grandfathered in. So just, just a point of clarification. I don't know if you want to ask the homeowner if she has anything to say.
I would be happy to.
I just appreciate you looking at this and discussing it, and we're in much
Excuse
need.
me, the mayor's asking if you could get up to the microphone. just a
Oh,
little.
sure.
I didn't know what you meant.
She's doing the 79 feet.
I think you covered everything wonderfully concerning this matter. My name's Karen Justin. My husband wasn't able to come. His mom passed away, and they're having her funeral today. He wanted to be here. But yes, right now, we're currently parking almost on the road. So that's a hardship in itself because we have a very large truck, and you just have to really be careful to be off of the road. And by getting the variance, it helps us with this carport. Architecturally, it would look really weird if the house is up here and then the carport is pushed way back. So it would really be a strange looking thing, and it would take up a large part of the yard we would lose. And we're real limited because of the creek and the pond. And we're also limited because of the really excessive slope of this lot. And pushing it back is just more and more of a slope where it would be located. We would also have to take out, if it was pushed back, 2 very large, beautiful poplar trees that I would hate to lose those. It would be terrible. But those are some of the points, I guess. We're already from the middle of the road to our property line, we're already 30 feet. And so if we had to take an additional 15 feet, this carport would be sitting back 45 feet, actually. So it's just not really a necessary thing to keep. That 45 feet is a very large setback and really not necessary in this case, and would really hurt in so many ways. It would hurt a lot of what we're all already talking about. But anyway, thank you so much for your considerations. And that's really all I have to say. And if there's any questions to me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Karen, thank you, and our sincerest condolences.
Thank you so much.
Pass that along to your husband if you would.
I will.
We appreciate that. And certainly, I cannot imagine a lot in Sky Valley with a steep slope on it.
I can't look at it. I know.
One of those things you deal with regularly.
Yeah, it is something to deal with. It's quite a slope,
Yep.
but it does slope right into that creek and that area. You know, our lot goes past that,
Yeah.
so it's really limiting being able to use our property in a good way. And but anyway,
Good. Thank you so
that's
much.
it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, I wanted to read into the record, I guess. Ms. Jerry Smith sent in a notice yesterday that she wanted her letters of May 20th, May 22nd, May 25th to be filed into the record of this meeting minutes. And so I just wanted to incorporate by reference these 3 letters that she has submitted to the city clerk, which have been received. So these 3 letters, which I think I have a copy of, will be placed into the meeting minutes. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? Hearing nothing else, we'll call for the vote. Those in favor of granting this variance to the property, signify by saying aye.
I vote aye.
Technically, all y'all are recommending it.
Yes, that's exactly
So
right.
it's not a grant or deny, it's just a recommend or, not.
You are exactly right. It's our job here is to recommend to the city council this action. And that's what we're undertaking here. So, all those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes, and we will make this recommendation directly to the city council, and we will do so in about an hour. Very good. Thank you all for your service. Yes, ma'am?
Did you approve the minutes, or did you need to do that from the previous
Last
meeting?
year,
Yeah, the old minutes.
yeah, we can do that.
July 29th.
Yeah, let's, has anybody ever seen those?
They were in your packet.
Oh, yeah, sure, I saw those.
I read through them, but not being there,
Right.
I mean, I can read them.
Well,
I was there, but I can't vote.
let's take a vote on approving the minutes of the previous meeting that, none of us were at. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Aye.
Yeah. You were,
Aye.
thank you.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, that business having been taken care of, I appreciate the service of you guys, and, without anything further, we'll, call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Aye.
Congratulations. Appreciate your,
Thank you, thank
your
everyone.
request. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You bet. You bet. Okay. Go back to school.